turbocharge your web presence, how to outmaneuver and outperform your competition. And I'm Roy Prevost. And today you're going to get some wonderful information about various subject matters in regards to your website, where the web is headed, what the internet's going to look like, all that kind of good stuff. And I'm grateful that you've taken the time out of your busy schedule to do this. So who am I? I'm a futurist, a customer service activist. I am a customer service fanatic, if you'll talk to my family. I've delivered more than 400 workshops on how to compete in the big box retail world and on customer service. I've lectured at university on the future consumer. I'm the author of Turbocharge Your Retail Business, How to Outmaneuver and Outperform the Big Guys. No, I am not a techie by any stretch, although I have the ability and talent of bringing teams of people together who are experts in that arena. And I'm grateful for them. They do a great job and they support me enormously. So I build teams of people with much more expertise than me. Who is this webinar for? People who have a website and want to attract prospects and also want to keep their customers. People who have a website and use it as an information silo so that people can access information from your site, technical or otherwise. People who have a website and use it as a business card and a promotional item. So that is also why people would have a website and who this webinar is for. People who sell products and services from their website, and people who just want to be aware of the future of the web. So if you fit into this category, then you're in the right place. This website is not for people who do not have a website. Now, if you don't have a website in today's world, then for heaven's sake, give me a call. My phone number will be at the end of the webinar. Give me a call and let's talk about this. You cannot exist in this world today without a website. This is not for people who have a website and really don't care if they miss a huge percentage of clients or prospects. If that happens to be you, then please don't attend this webinar because you'll be wasting your time. I would highly recommend that you, just go about doing what you're doing. Now, if you have a website and you don't know why you have a website, then I think we should have another talk. So call me pronto, as soon as possible. And then for people who believe if they wait long enough, it will go away. Well, no, it won't go away. And although you may wish and want it to go away, that isn't going to happen anytime soon. And then there are the perpetual procrastinators. And if you fall into that category, well, just check it out. And if you feel a sense of urgency, you may want to do something about it. So, just anyone you know, people who have their head in the sand all the time. I kind of put that out there because you can't afford to do that today. If you own a business or any kind of whatever you do, you have to keep yourself aware of what's going on in the marketplace at all times. So there's no magic to it. It's just that's the realities of it. And this is your typical customer. This is a very bad picture and an extreme picture, but not overly extreme, where people are just swamped by activity, by all kinds of things that are going on. So your ability to make it easy for them to connect to you in whatever device they want is absolutely critical. And if they can't, they won't, and they won't do business with you. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's an absolute fact. I know that to be true. And that's what we live in. We live in a world, look at this little girl and think about it. We live in a world of overload, too much going on, too many things happening. And so the person who can provide the best solution to their issues and problems and connecting to the web and whatever it is, their street will be paved with gold because people are just too much coming at everyone. And I used to think it was only small or big urban cities that this was an issue. But I know for a fact I've been to small towns and worked with different retail outfits in smaller communities of 3,000 to 5,000 people, and it's no different. Maybe a little bit lesser scale, but the same overstimulation, too much activity going on, too many things happening in people's lives. So that's what your customer is like, and so it's your job to make it so easy for them to do business with you and to connect with you. And so your website is the hub of your marketing. If your website is ineffective, how will people access your content from mobile devices? How will local buyers get in touch with you? How will prospective customers research your company using mobile devices? And how will you build a mailing list of prospective customers if they cannot get in touch with you? So the agenda for this webinar is I'm going to talk about the current state of computer technology. Then I'm going to talk about the medium and long-term view of websites and how iPhones, Androids, tablets currently interact with your website. Then I'm going to talk about the shocking statistics on how pervasive mobile technology has become and how it will affect your business. And then I'm going to also discuss and talk to you about the danger of not reinventing your current website to reflect that new reality. So from 1990 to today, the internet way back when, I remember when I was in a different industry, I had a showroom and an office, and I had an agency in the gift industry, and I was one of the very first people who brought 286, I can't even remember the name now, desktop computer into my company, and I was the only one in the building of about 50 showrooms, and everybody came walking into my showroom gawking at this thing on my desk and asking me, well, what are you going to do with this? And I said, well, I'm going to create a database for customers. And they laughed at it. They thought, what the heck do you need that for? Well, the world has come a long way. So the evolution of websites and the evolution of technology from desktop to laptop to handheld and beyond, welcome to the new world. And the future of this unfolds in very mysterious ways, but it's unfolding. So let's just take some statistics, Canadian statistics. Now, if you're in the US, Canada, New Zealand, Australia, we're kind of what I call linked at the hip in terms of the economy. So I don't even want to go in terms of why should Canada be any different than anyone else. Within a few percentage points, we're all in the same boat here. So 86% of Canadians are internet users, 29 million people out of a possible 33, 34 million. Second only to the UK at 87%, followed by Germany at 84%, and then the USA comes in at 8th with 80%. These are important because, and you'll see the significance of that in a few moments. The household mobile usage penetration among internet users in Canada is 76%, which is below the world average of 93%. 58% of the country connects to the internet via a mobile device. Now that here is significant information here. 58%, that's probably conservative. 89% of Canadian smartphone users search for local information compared to 94% in the US. So anyone who has a smartphone, they're always looking for local stuff. 77% use their smartphone to research products, which is equal to the US. And 27% of Canadian smartphone users have made a purchase using their phone compared to 46% in the US. So that is very valuable. Who's your online customer? They crossed all demographics now, 20 years to 70 years. I know people 70, 80 years old working on laptops and iPads and everything else, keeping in touch with family, friends, getting information. And typically, the online customer is overwhelmed by the pace of which things are changing. Now, here's a couple of very important points. The attention span of they have the attention span of a gnat when searching online. I'm guilty of it myself. If I go online and I can't easily navigate through a website or navigate to get a purchase, or I can't seem to connect with anybody, I'm out of there. And if there's a competitor that I can do it easier with, I'm there. I don't have time for it, and believe me, this is a phenomenon of the web. The web is such by its nature, speed. How fast can I get from A to B? We'll stand in line for restaurants, we'll stand in line for a million other things, but we will not spend a lot of time online trying to figure things out. And I don't know why that is. I think it's just human nature, but whatever it is. And more and more we're finding that people, i.e. your customers, i.e. other folks, they vote with their time, not their dollars. So if they're time crunched and they want something and they want it now, they will vote with their time. They'll say, I don't have the time to do this. I don't have the time to sit around and wait. And so the dollars, although it's important, money is important, and I'm not trying to say you can charge outrageous prices. No. However, Remember that they're voting with their time because everybody has a limited amount, and they it's still 24 hours in a day. Just hold on a moment. I have a sip of water here. And that online customer is unforgiving and spoiled. No question about that. That's an absolute fact of life. So this is not the web that we're looking at. This used to be the web, no longer. This is a web today. And the web is a concentration, if you look around here, phones, pads, iPads, every size of screen possible. You name it, it's there. And then, of course, the big widescreen. So that's how the world is viewed now. And there's no way you can avoid it. That's the way it is today. And this will be the web in the future. You'll see this little web, this computer screen here on a fridge door. And I'm not trying to build a futuristic view of this, but this is how I take it. They will come. That fridge will be so interactive with what's in it that it can tell you that the milk is out and the bread is out, or the eggs, you have no more eggs left, and you need to, get more produce or whatever. And chances are it'll be connected directly to a site of a supplier. That could be a store, that could be a wholesale outfit, that could be a something that Amazon is coming out to delivering groceries now in California. And so if you're a small business owner, you want to be connected there. And then all of this, just have a look at it. And then, of course, in cars, the latest invention from Apple is they're getting into cars with screens now, and it's imminent. I mean, next year's models, you'll see what's happening. So there you see it all, and much more. It breaks down the user experience into personalized, focused vision for that one singular customer and working around their needs and wants and desires. That's the future. 25% of Canadians use only mobile devices to access the internet. There are 5 times as many cell phones in the world as there are PCs. Think about that, folks. Smartphones are a central part of our daily lives. 60% have used their smartphones every day in the past 7 days, and that's conservative. They're on all the time. They're always with you. It's ubiquitous. 79% don't leave home without their device. I remember about 10 days ago, I had to go downtown, and I got to the SkyTrain and realized I had left my cell phone at home. It was like I'd left it was like I was naked. I was like, I couldn't understand why I was feeling that anxiety, and I stopped myself and I said, wait a minute. You're going down there for 2 hours. What's the big deal here? But that's the way the world is, that we're hyper-connected, and we get sucked into that seduction of having need to be constantly in touch. And I didn't create it. It's just the way the world is today. So smartphones are always on, always going. They're used everywhere, at home, on the go, stores, work, restaurants, anywhere you go. Social gatherings, it's omnipresent. And 97% at home. Pardon me. School, everywhere that you go, anywhere. They're allowing users to stay fully connected via email, search engines, social networking sites, video sharing sites. 56% access the internet on their smartphones at least once a day. 89% of smartphone users look up local information. 93% have taken action as a result of looking it up. And then look at how they're taking action here. You look up a business on a map or got directions to the business, called the business or service, 52%. Visited a business, a store or restaurant, 56%. Visited the website of the business, 55%. Recommended a business or service to someone else. All that kind of activity through their mobile devices. Offline ad exposure. 57% have performed a mobile search after seeing an ad. So they see the ad, they look up the website on their mobile devices, they do a search on it, and whether it's in a poster or magazine or TV or it's everything's interconnected now. And then the research that starts on smartphone leads to purchases across other channels. So it might be an offline where they would see something, via computer, or they might have picked it up, they might have researched it on their smartphone and gone on the computer and bought it, or just offline. So this is the way the world's happening and what's going on as we speak. 10 times mobile coupons get 10 times higher redemption rates than print coupons. Standard stuff. Great to know this stuff, though. By 2013, mobile phones surpassed PCs as the most common web access device worldwide. So are you preventing customers from finding you? If your website is broken, you are losing sales or prospects every single day. So what does this mean for your business? The problem is users cannot view your site from their mobile device. And the solution is a responsive website. So what is a responsive website? A responsive website adapts to the screen size being used. Rather than having one website that looks best on desktop or multiple sites for different devices, a responsive website is one site that adapts or responds to the different screen sizes. And why would you want that? Oh, well, it's no longer in doubt that web-capable mobile devices, as in tablets, smartphones, and phablets, are becoming the norm. So companies and website owners have tried to reach these mobile website visitors by building separate mobile-only websites. However, mobile-only websites have serious limitations. For instance, previously separate websites were created for this on-the-go mobile audience. The thinking was that these mobile devices had smaller screens. Content design needed to be different for these devices. However, separate websites create a problem. You have two sites to keep updated, two sites to market, and two sites to rank in search engines. And with the explosion of smartphones, phablets, tablets, and TV markets, separate websites for each of these types of devices would quickly become a nightmare to upkeep. So, and the redirects to mobile sites take valuable seconds. So web visitors have notoriously short attention spans. I referred to that earlier. They're like a flea. They just have no, they can't get it. They're going to move on. But you're saying to yourself, my website's not even that old. Every business, even businesses who launched their website only a few months ago, are finding themselves in need of a new responsive website. Responsive web design is still relatively new, so it may not even have been in the discussion when you began your website search. Technology is always changing. Today's cutting edge is tomorrow's obsolete. And that's the part that makes it exciting and yet so frustrating. So what should you do if you decide you need a responsive design but have a relatively new website? Well, you have a few options. You can upgrade to a responsive site, and this is the most inexpensive option and is the investment that will pay off the most in the long run. You could build a completely new site, which can be very costly, can be anywhere for a couple of $1,000s, and is probably unnecessary. You can add a cheap mobile solution. While this may not be the best solution, a cheap or do-it-yourself mobile site will at least help you reach some of the mobile audience until you have the budget to upgrade to a responsive design. Or you can ignore visitors. Mobile visitors, i.e. stick your head in the sand. We do not endorse, and never have endorsed, that particular option. Can I convert my current site to a responsive design? The short answer is yes. Let me create an analogy. Imagine you bought an iPad 2 right before the iPad 3 was announced with the Retina display. Then you brought your iPad 2 to an Apple store and asked them to add the Retina display, and the Apple techie would look at you and probably stare at you blankly and think you're from another planet. You see, your iPad 2 doesn't have the hardware necessary to make it an iPad 3. It would need to be taken apart, completely rebuilt, and then reassembled. Moving from a desktop-only website to a responsive website is similar to trying to upgrade your iPad 2 to an iPad 3. The code and code structure necessary to make your website responsive likely didn't exist when it was originally built. So in most cases, adding responsive design to a website involves gutting the website and recoding it from scratch. Can I keep my current design? I'm just going to take another sip of water here. Can I keep my current design? Yes, you can. It's the internal components are what gets the upgrade. Responsive web design involves an entire new framework, and if you'd like, you can keep your existing design while we completely retool your website's internal components, i.e. the code. Why are responsive websites the way of the future? Well, there's more shareability. If you have a separate mobile and non-mobile site, the URLs, the links are different, so mobile visitors may end up sharing a mobile page that will render awkwardly on desktops and back and forth. Improved usability. Visitors to your responsive website can view every page of your site on any device and still get the information they need rather than be redirected to another site. And better SEO. Google rewards sites that improve usability, and they have already made it quite clear that they recommend a single URL instead of a mobile m.site.com or site.com/mobile. You can get ahead of the curve by creating a responsive site now. Now, to be clear, now before you get this, let me tell you exactly what you're getting so you know it's right for you. How does it work? We will need to do a complete backup of your current site. Technology being technology, and I've had enough experience with this, we back up everything. So if any glitches happen, then there's no problem. We then dismantle your site and rewrite all the current code and turn it into a fully functioning responsive website. This operation is very hands-on and very time-consuming. Normally, the turnaround time will be 3 to 4 days for our team to complete the work. But before we go any further, I want to congratulate you. You're obviously very serious about making sure your website and online presence is fully optimized, and I just want to take some time to acknowledge you for that. Most people never take the time to educate themselves the way you have. You're online, you're watching this webinar, and you really have the commitment and determination to do this now. That's why you're perfect for the responsive website makeover. It's specifically for people like you who want to get ahead of the competition by allowing prospects and customers to connect with you on their mobile devices. Now, show me the money. I love that line from Jerry Maguire, the movie. Until several weeks ago, my website, www.royprevo.com, was not a responsive website. So I said, before I can walk the talk, I asked one of my team members to rewrite the code in my website to reflect that new reality. Prior to this, my website could not show up on a mobile screen and was impossible to view correctly. So just take a few moments, please take a moment to visit my new and refurbished website. Go to royprevo.com and come back to me in about 30 seconds, and we'll continue this conversation. And there we go. Now, if you didn't have the time to do this, take the time after the webinar is over. Just check it out. You'll see what I mean by that. So here's what you'll get: a complete website rewrite that will allow your website to be viewed on all versions of mobile devices, including phablets, tablets, iPhones, and Androids. Plus, we have a special bonus we'll come to in a few moments. Now, as you can imagine, these projects are very labor intensive, and I have only one person doing that work. And so it's offered on a first come, first served basis. Once you've signed up, you'll be placed in a queue to have the work done, and we will inform you when we can begin on your site. I recommend that you sign up as soon as possible. And we'll close down the opportunity if we get overloaded. And there's a good chance that'll happen because this is going out to a lot of people. Our reputation is at stake, and one of my core values is under promise and over deliver. And so we will close it down. So what is the bonus? You will receive a full review of the metadata on your index page, which includes, now if you don't understand this language, take it to your webmaster. They'll explain it to you very easily. You'll get a complete checkup on the description of the index page, analysis of the keywords and their use, i.e. weight on the page, and the review of the keywords. And then you'll get a full SEO report that includes detailed PDF report covering all details of your website and steps to improve your website, outlining all errors and issues, and that is a value of $75. What is your investment? Your investment is $597 plus GST if you're Canadian. And if you're international, i.e. anywhere else, including the US, it's $597 in US funds. So I highly recommend, now it's based on a website here of 10 pages. If yours is 35, 40 pages, then we'll have a chat about what the extra cost will be. This is based on a website of 10 pages. So you have three choices. Sign up for the responsive site makeover now. Have a new website built that will include the responsive capability that could cost you anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. Or you can forget about mobile customers and continue doing what you're doing. I don't recommend that. If you have any questions whatsoever before you purchase, call me, 604-519-0035, or email me. So that's my presentation. I don't do the hard sell. I don't believe in it. You'll have the bonus available to you. I'm available for conversation. You can email me, you can call me, you can, however you want to connect to me. I do hope that you found this valuable. I do hope you see where the future is headed in this direction, and I do hope our paths will cross sometime in the future at some event that I'll be speaking at, or at some other way I can meet you. Feel free to call me anytime. I'm here to help you and resolve this issue with your website. Thanks so much. All the best. Bye for now.